Okay, so, umpisahan natin itong engineering economy which is yung third part ng module 1 natin. Na pinag-uusapan nga natin dito is yung time value of money. So when we talk about time value of money, we're talking about the value of money in regards dun sa time natin. So may mga instances that as years goes by, dahil nga may mga interest yan, nagbabago yung amount ng pera natin depending on the rate of the interest and also depending on the type of interest na meron tayo. So bago natin umpisahan yung mga interest natin, pag-usapan muna natin ngayon yung tinatawag natin na cash flows. So pag sinabi kasi natin cash flows, ito yung pag-flow ng pera na meron tayo, be it binarrow mo man siya or ininvest mo man siya, depending dun sa number of years na meron tayo, magbabago yung amount ng pera natin. So kapag nag-borrow ka, lalaki yan, may tubo yan as years go by. Pag naman nag-invest ka or nagpautang ka, tutubo rin naman yan. In a way, nakikita ka naman. So yung cash flows natin, pinapakita iyon. So before we proceed with the main problems here in cash flows, pag-usapan muna natin ngayon yung tinatawag natin na convention. So dito sa conventions, ah ito ipapakita natin, ide-designate natin yung magiging sign conventions natin. So the first one na binabanggit dito, the horizontal line is the time scale with the progression of time moving from left to right. So meaning kung meron tayo dito, sabihin natin, ito yung horizontal line natin. Itong horizontal line daw na ito, magpapakita ito ng time scale natin. Sabihin, this signifies the time. The period labels can be applied to the intervals of time rather than to points on time scale. So, meron tayong interval na nilalagay dito. So, instead ilagay natin yung specific time dito, ang nilalagay naman natin here is yung tinatawag natin na time frame or yung intervals nga natin. So, commonly, nag start tayo with year zero. So, ito yung year zero mo. Then, ayan, meron tayong different set of intervals na nilalagay. At yung set of intervals natin, commonly, yearly naman yan. So kapag pinapakita natin yan dito sa cash flow diagram natin, pinapakita natin yan in a way na yearly yan. So kung meron tayong year 0, we have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 7, year, and so on. Hanggang ma-reach natin yung number of years na minensyon doon sa ating problem. So sa pangalawang note natin, important note natin about conventions, the arrow signifies cash flows and are placed at the end of the period. A downward arrow represents expenses and upward arrow represents receipts. So dito papasok yung point of view natin. So in this case, papasok dito yung cash flow diagram na depende nga doon sa point of view natin. Tandaan natin, sinanggit dito, yung arrows daw, pinapakita yan at the end of each period. So, each interval, ilalagay natin dyan kung ano na ba yung naging value or ano yung value na ng pera natin depending kung nasa point of view ka nga ng borrower or point of view ka ng lender. So nilalagay natin yung arrow each at the end of the interval. So sabi dito, binanggit naman dun sa problem na sabi dito that the arrow signifies kapag daw downward represents expenses, kapag arrows naman represents receipts. Ibig sabihin, dito papasok nga yung point of view natin. So, meron tayong dalawang point of view. Ang point of views natin, una is yung borrower. Ibig sabihin, umutang ka ng pera. Meron din naman tayong lender. Ibig sabihin, nagpautang ka ng pera or nag-invest ka ng pera. So, ganun yung mangyayari. So, ano ba yung nangyayari kapag ang borrower, nasa point of view tayo ng borrower? Kung gagawa tayo ng cash flow in a point of view of borrower, so unahin natin ngayon. Sige, para mas maintindihan nyo, ibahin natin yung kulay. Yan. So kapag borrower, red, kapag lender is yung green arrow. So kapag daw borrower tayo, nag start daw yung pera natin in a positive value. Kasi nga, nangutang ka eh. Nagkaroon ka ng pera. So yung ating magiging pera here would be positive. Yung umpisa natin. Okay? positive yung value ng pera natin. And then, as years goes by, magiging negative naman yung value ng pera natin. At the end of each period, so may mga negative values tayo. Yan. So at the end, ito, year zero nga, meron tayo, F0. And then at the end of yung year natin, meron tayong negative na value ng pera. Kasi nga, lumaki na yung tubo, yung pera mo hindi na sa'yo, babayaran mo na siya. Kapag naman nasa point of view tayo ng lender, kapag lender, nag start yung pera natin o yung value ng money natin as a negative value. Tapos, after each year, dahil nga sa interest, kapag nag-invest ka o nagpautang ka, mas tataas yung value ng pera niya kada taon. Hanggang sa ma-reach natin yung end ng ating life cycle o yung time cycle natin na kung saan sinet nga natin yung value natin. So, at at N years of kapag nag-lend ka ng pera or nag-invest ka ng pera, at the beginning negative yung value ng pera mo kasi naglabas ka ng pera, pero at the end of the time frame natin, at the end of the time scale natin, magkakaroon tayo ng positive value kasi nga kumita na yung pera mo. So that's the difference between the point of view ng borrower at ng lender. So, ito yung pinapakita ng cash flows nga natin. So, kapag daw positive yung cash flows natin, upward yung kanyang, yung arrowhead natin, pinapakita natin in upward direction. And negative cash flows naman kapag nag-release tayo ng pera or naglabas tayo ng pera. So, this is in a point of view. Itong ating example dito. This is an example of a point of view ng ating lender. So kapag nagpahiram ka ng pera, negative yung pera mo, pero at the end of the year, at the end of that time scale, meron ka ng magiging positive value ng pera natin. So para mas maintindihan natin, let's have an example. So sabi dito sa example natin, okay? Example number 1, an investor has an option to purchase a tract of land that will be worth $10,000 in 6 years. If the value of the land increases at 8% each year, how much should the investor be willing to pay for now the property? Let us also draw the appropriate cash flow diagram. So bago natin i-drawing yung cash flow diagram, isolve muna natin itong problem. So sabi dun sa problem natin, meron daw tayong isa-isahin natin yung given. Meron daw tayong 10,000 pesos in 6 years. So, ibig sabihin, this is in future value. Ayan yung magiging pera natin after the 6 years. So, that is $10,000. Next, nag-i-increase daw siya 8% each year. So, meron tayong interest na 8% per year. Magkano daw yung kailangan bayaran ng investor natin kung magiging 10,000 nga yung pera niya at the end of the 6th year. So kung i-compute natin yan, meron tayong formula para dito. Ang formula natin for that is P o yung present value natin is equal to the future value all over 1 plus I raised to N. Okay? So i-solve natin yung problem. Upon solving, dito kukunin natin yung present value. So, P is equal to yung future value natin na 10,000 all over 1 plus 8% or 0.08 raised to, ilan yung N natin? 6 years. So, 6. Yung present value natin, kay compute natin dyan is equal to, wait lang i-calculate ko lang. Ayan, kaya input natin yan sa Calcu, 10,000 over 1 plus 0.08 raised to 6. So, meron daw tayong 6,301.69 or $6,302. So, ito ngayon yung ating sagot. So, kung ilalagay naman natin siya into a diagram, okay? Kung ilalagay natin ito ngayon in a diagram, For example, ito ngayon yung ano mo, yung iyong time scale. You have year 0, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and year 6. And then, sabi dito, investor tayo, so nag-release tayo ng pera. Ang unang value natin dyan would be negative. So, negative yung value muna natin. So, this is negative 6,302. And then, as years goes by, tataas yung pera natin. Hanggang ma-reach natin yung 6 years na, ito naman ngayon, $10,000 na or positive 10,000 na yung magiging value ng pera natin. So this is year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and year 6. So ngayon yung ating cash flow diagram. Yan. Next naman is example number 2. You borrowed now and promising to repay the loan principal plus the accumulated interest in 4 years at I is equals to 10% per year. Draw the cash flow diagram and how much will you repay at the end of the year. So kung isosolve natin yan, ang mga given natin, we have naghiram ka ng pera ngayon, so ibig sabihin yan yung present value natin, which is $8,000. Meron tayong interest na 10%. At ang sabi, kailangan ilang taon 'to? At the end of 4 years. So yung number natin of years is 4 years. Ngayon kung iso-solve natin 'yan, given that may formula nga tayo, so pwede natin yang i-solve using the future value f is equals to, so i-derive lang natin yung f is over 1 plus I raised to n, so magiging p times 1 plus I raised to n. So, kunin natin in 4 years, present value natin is 8,000. 1 plus 10% raised to 4. Your future value after 4 years will become, i-compute natin, 8,000. 1 plus 0.10 raised to 4. Meron tayo ngayong $11,712.8. So, kung drawing naman natin yan into the cash flow diagram. So, isulat natin yan dito. We have year 0, year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. So, meron tayo, nanghiram tayo ng pera. So, nasa borrower's point of view tayo. So, yung first money natin would be positive. So, ito yon. Meron tayong 8,000. And then, magiging negative na siya. And at the end of the 4 years, meron na tayo ngayong future value na 11,712.8. So ito ngayon yung cash flow diagram natin in example problem number 2. Meron din naman tayong tinatawag na uniform series cash flows. Pag sinabi natin uniform series cash flows, ibig sabihin, yung ating pera naman ngayon is uniformly tumataas yung value niya. Ibig sabihin, kung ano yung kinita niya or na-loss, na naglumaki yung value niya, kailangan kada taon, pare-parehas lang siya. So, dito sa example problem number 2 natin, sabi dito, ABC Corporation had an investment of $10,000 and it produces an annual revenue of $5,310 for 5 years and then will have a market value of $2,000 at the end of year 5. The annual expenses will be $3,000 at the end of each year for operating and maintaining the project. Let us draw a cash flow diagram for the for the 5-year life cycle of the project, and we have to use the corporation's viewpoint. So corporation viewpoint tayo, nag-invest tayo ng pera, Ibig sabihin at the beginning of the year, negative yung magiging value natin. So bago natin i-drawing yung ating magiging cash flow diagram, i-solve muna natin magkano ba yung magiging pera niya each year. Magkano magiging kita niya each year. So tingnan natin dito, meron daw tayo. Kunin muna natin yung annual net. Mm. Na annual net income natin. So para makuha natin yan, i-subtract lang natin yung revenue natin, subtract it by the expenses. So dito ngayon, meron tayo, ano ba yung mga ano natin, ano ba yung nabanggit sa problem na revenue natin. So meron tayong annual revenue na 5,310. Subtract natin yun ngayon doon sa ating annual expenses na $3,000. So ang ating annual net is equal to $2,310 each year. Ngayon, pwede na nating ipakita yan. Pwede na tayo mag-drawing ng ating cash flow diagram. So meron tayo ngayong 5 years. So year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then, in a point of view of lender tayo, so yung pera muna natin would be negative. So, negative muna yung value niya. Meron tayo ditong 10,000. Ito ngayon yung ininvest natin. Then, at year 1, kikita tayo ng 2,310. At year 2, kikita tayo ng 2,310. At year 3, kikita tayo ng 2,310. At year 4, kikita tayo ng 2,310. And at year 5, kikita din tayo ng 2,310. Pero sabi pa dun sa problem, may magkakaroon daw tayo ng market value na 2,000 at the end of year 5. So, idadagdag din natin yan. $2,000 at the end of year 5. So kung makikita mo dito ngayon, dun sa ating cash flow diagram, yung 10,000 na in-invest niya, pag in-accumulate natin yung kita niya kada taon, sobra pa sa naging investment niya. Halos naging kumita siya ng kalahati dun sa in-invest niya. So it is a good, it's a very good investment. Example problem number 2, if a certain machine undergoes a major overhaul now that it can be. So yun nga, sabi dito sa problem number example problem number 2, if a certain machine undergoes a major overhaul now that its can be output be increased by 20%, which translates into additional cash flow of 20,000 at the end of each year. For year 5, draw a cash flow diagram for the 5-year life of the project. So sabi dito, nag-increase daw siya ng 20%. Kapag tinranslate natin sa pera, $20,000. So pwede na natin siyang idiretso i-drawing sa as a cash flow diagram in which meron tayo dito year 0, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. Tayo ay nasa point of view ngayon ng ito ay nasa point of view ngayon tayo ng borrower kasi ibig sabihin nasira daw eh. Nag-increase daw siya, nag-increase yung pera natin ng 20% each year. So, kay drawing natin to, $20,000 daw siya at the end of each year for 5. Ibig sabihin, kumikita siya ng $20,000 kasi yung outputs niya mas lumaki. Okay? So, kay drawing natin ngayon, yung ating okay? Kung i-drawing natin ngayon yung ating cash flow diagram, Ito year 0, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. So kung i-ano natin yan dito, at year 0, magkakaroon tayo ng uniformly na pagtaas ng $20,000. So, drawing natin siya. Yan, 20,000. Year 1, meron tayong 20,000. At year 2, meron tayong 20,000. At year 3, meron tayong 20,000 positive cash flow. At year 4, meron tayong 20,000 positive cash flow. And at year 5, meron din tayo ulit na 20,000 positive cash flow. So, ganito lang i-drawing yung ating example problem number 2. Ngayon, for example problem number 3, sabi dito, you borrowed a $15,000 from your credit union to purchase a car. The rate of interest on your loan is to 0.25% per month, and you will make a total of 18 monthly payments. So let's draw the cash flow diagram. So medyo ano na to, medyo tricky yung ating naging example problem number 3. Kasi kung makikita nyo dito, sabi, meron daw tayong total na 18 monthly payments. So paano ba natin i-show do drawing pag ganyan? So kapag i-drawing natin yung ating value, ipapakita naman natin siya in a number of months. So, hindi siya number of years kasi sabi dito 18 monthly payments. So, kailangan monthly yung ipapakita nating magiging cash flow. So, para i-drawing natin siya ngayon, meron tayo dyan. Year 0, year 0, or month 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Hanggang ma-reach natin yung year 18, 17, 18. So, ilagay natin yun. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. This is year 17. This is year 18. So, dito, meron tayo ngayong cash flow na 18 months. So, kung may interest rate to tayo na 0.25%, since ang sabi lang naman dito, i-drawing natin yung cash flow, hindi na natin kailangan i-solve to, no? Drawing na lang natin. So, at the beginning, meron tayo ngayong positive value kasi nangutang tayo. So, this is your $15,000. And then, at monthly aim, month 1, meron tayong babayaran dyan. Month 2, may babayaran din tayo. Month 3, may babayaran din tayo. Which is a negative value na kasi nasa negative yung cash flow natin. Dito rin, magbabayad ka din. And so on, meron din tayo dito, negative yung 17 at 18th month natin. So ito ngayon yung ating magiging cash flow diagram kapag monthly naman tayo. So yung A, pinapakita lang naman siya, it signifies the uniform payment. So kapag kasi monthly yung payments natin or magbe-pay tayo dito sa uniform cash flow, pinapakita natin siya in a variable of A. So imbes na mga FF, A yung nilalagay natin. So uniform payment, yung ating hindi nagbabago siya, kung ano yung binayad natin ng month 1 hanggang dulo ng 18 months, ganun pa rin yung babayaran natin. So, ayun ngayon yung ating uniform cash flow. So, that ends our lesson about cash flows.